Hi, and welcome back to With Hat and Cattle, where we bring you stories from people who are walking the walk and leave you better off for listening. Today in the studio, we have some pretty big personalities, and I'm so excited to introduce them to you. First off, we have Eric, Big Juicy Love, Fort Worth famous. The name itself tells everyone what what they need to know. Would you, when people first meet you, I'm curious, what is the first thing you would love for them to leave knowing about you?
I want them to know that they met a good person today. And I think it's important to, we always say, oh, have a good day, but I like helping make good days happen. It doesn't matter if you're going in for something to eat, leave a big tip. We're going to die anyway. We're not going to need the money.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But, I think it's important. Just smile, be kind. And that's kind of something that I've lived like that for the majority of my life, at least all of my adult life.
I feel I'm a little late to the party, but I am reading Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, and that's one of his principles is
Yeah,
smile,
yeah,
smile at others. So thank you for that reminder.
you bet.
We also have Colin Weatherwax and his daughter Kennedy in the studio today. How are y'all doing?
Uh, we're doing really good.
There we go. I'll let her say all the good stuff. She's got all the good stuff. Thanks for having us, Danny.
No, I appreciate you both driving from way across the Metroplex to join us today. So, when you and I were speaking, Colin, about bringing everyone in the studio together and how we could unite the message, one of the first things that came to my heart was joy. And that's kind of the frame how I know both of you. Eric, we met because you so graciously volunteered your car, which is also a personality in and of itself, to a fundraiser that my friend was doing, a whole gala, but it was, at its heart, it was raising funds for a nonprofit. And Colin, your presence on LinkedIn, when people think of LinkedIn, some people still see it as just a stuffy place, all business, but LinkedIn has actually grown, evolved, and people are showing more of themselves, keeping that business lens. But it's a reminder that we're not buying product, we're buying from people. And so when you show up with connection and life lessons. And I would love to ask you that same question. When people first meet you, what would you like them to leave knowing about you?
It's kind of the same vein as Eric, right? In my short life so far on this planet, I've made a lot of connections, and I'm very intentional
Mm.
about reaching out to those people and asking them how I can help them. Not just, hey, let me know if you need help, right? It's like, what in your life or in your business is causing you pain right now? Whether it be, whenever you reached out on one of our networking groups and said, "Hey, I need someone last minute for a gala with a vehicle," and I was sitting there and I was like, I know the perfect person. I knew it was Eric, right? And now he doesn't have a lavish car. In my opinion, it is not the prettiest car, but he brings the energy.
It's
And
memorable.
yeah, it's memorable. And it's all about the person, right? You don't want just a lavish car with no personality, right? It's bringing in that welcoming face and then those open arms that he brings. And so that's kind of what I want to do as well, right? Is just bring that meaningful connection and show people that I'm a genuine human.
Definitely. And Kennedy, you have the honor of being the youngest guest on With Hat and Cattle.
Mhm.
So I love your tenacity and how, if this would not have happened if it hadn't been for you, I hope you know that.
Absolutely.
So you gathered all these people in the studio today. We appreciate you. When
Mhm.
people first meet you, Kennedy, what would you like them to know about you?
The playing the piano,
Oh my goodness, what song do you like to play on the piano?
Chim Chim Cheree.
That's a good one. That is a very good one. And if, gosh, I could have rented a keyboard maybe,
Oh, man.
next time you could play that for us. So, all right, let's get right into it. So, just a little bit of background on both of you before we jump into the conversation. Eric, You're wearing a cowboy hat in the studio today, which
Yes.
I love, but you wear so many hats. You are a private investigator. Are you still running for mayor? Is that a current campaign? Because your
Okay, that
website
was a
says you
stunt.
are.
Listen, sometimes in life you got to do stunts. That was the last year of my dog's life, and I knew it. And
Oh,
as a stunt, man, we had a great time.
oh my gosh. I mean, I feel like we should just jump into the conversation because you're giving the perfect segue into it. But before we do, Colin, your background is people know your story as someone who went to work for, I believe, a nonprofit,
Mhm.
and then you worked your way up to CEO. Was it accidental? Is that the gist of the story?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
never in a million years would I have thought that I'd be a CEO, right? I started cleaning out cars when I was 18. So
Mhm.
if you'd have told my 18-year-old self you'd be running this company one day, I mean, he would have probably ran away or
Yeah.
just laughed.
Yeah. But that's not your current role.
Right.
You work in insurance sales.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it as enlighten me? Are you the owner of that business?
No,
Okay.
so it's a small team
Mhm.
of 4 agents. It's a small brokerage in Roanoke, and my focus is on home insurance, auto insurance, and then key person insurance for business.
Okay. So that is a message that we bring here on With Hat and Cattle. It's okay to pivot.
Yes.
Go different. Life has its ebbs and flows. And Kennedy, I know it is early. It is early. What are you currently doing right now in life?
What I'm currently doing in life is probably
Did you just finish school?
I just finished school and I'm being on summer break.
What grade will you be going to?
4th grade.
Oh my goodness,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're getting up in those elementary years, and pretty soon you're going to be in middle school.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's crazy to believe.
What subject do you like just love learning about?
I love learning about fractions.
My husband listens to the show, and that's going to make his heart happy. I think
Fractions?
fractions,
Oh
Yes.
boy.
the bane of my existence.
Oh boy.
So, thank you so much, Kennedy.
You're welcome.
So, Eric, you spoke to the mayor, running for mayor as being a stunt. In a way, that seems like you were trying to find joy in the journey. And, you knew a big life event was coming, one that, so many listeners can relate to. And so you found that way to cope. Are you okay speaking a little bit to
Oh,
that?
listen, I live this life every day, and that's where I really get joy. I mean, I
Yeah.
really do. I really do. I'm lucky. I got a lot of friends. I got a friend that owns a sign shop.
Okay.
And I said, hey, I'm trademarked. I'm going to run as Big Juicy, and they're never going to see me. I'm just going to put this dog on these really ridiculous, no little signs, all huge, 4x8. They were huge.
Uh-huh.
And I said, you have free reign to do whatever you want. And boy, they came up with some real zingers, enough to get a bunch of old, I'm old, so I can say it. Really, really inspired people talking over in Bedford. It's a small, 50,000 population,
Uh-huh.
only about 6% votes over there.
Yeah.
But boy, I put the English Bulldog, his likeness on every corner over there. And we lost, but that's fine. I had the best time doing it, And like I say, I like making things memorable. I knew that was probably his last year,
Mhm.
and I'm in it for fun. I'm in life for fun, and that was, my friends always say, "What stunt are you doing now?" And so we're doing some fun stuff right now. But during that time, that was probably one of the funniest, most memorable stunts. And, of course, I kept all the signs. They're all
Yep.
in my garage. And, some people, close friends will say, hey, man, I really want one of those. That's so stupid because you can't see my name. It
Mhm.
looks like Big Juicy, and he's in a suit and tie. And it's so stupid and ridiculous, but it's very memorable.
Right.
And, but by law, you have to put your name. So I said, I need you to almost make it where it can't even be seen. So mine's like in the smallest font possible,
Uh-huh.
Eric, and then it just says Big Juicy and then Love, but you can't even see my name
Yeah.
on the sign. So, I did it because, yeah, what a way to go out.
What
That's the way I thought.
1,000%. And now it makes sense because I've seen Eric in tiny font, big juicy in
Yep.
huge font,
Yep.
and then love in small font. And I thought, in a way, it's kind of become your brand, right?
Yes.
At that point.
Yeah.
So before we move on, Kennedy, I'm curious, did you know Eric when he had his dog?
Yeah.
Did you get to meet Big Juicy?
Yes.
Do you think he would have been
I
a
really
good
need
mayor?
you to bring the money here on this one.
Oh, yes.
Well, you actually have experience as being mayor for a day. So what would you have done?
So I would have kept anybody safe.
That's public
important.
safety is a
Great.
The
huge
most
concern.
important.
Yep. It's a good platform to run on.
Yes.
Definitely. So what city were you mayor for a day?
So at White Cane Day, I was in Arlington Mayor
Mm-hmm.
for a day for being the smartest girl.
I mean, that again, you have my vote.
There
I
we
mean,
go.
that definitely. But I heard you were mayor of Arlington for a day.
Yes.
Okay. Did you, and you said it was for White Cane Day?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So White Cane Day, it's like White Cane Safety Day, and it has the Love It Pavilion,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see stairs, and in the wall there's a stage, and it's really tall. You can go up to it, and you can talk and say, "I am da 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 da," and when you go down, they'll tell you, "Good job."
It seems you had some media coaching, which is very important when you are a public figure.
And we were there
Yes.
when Mayor Jim Ross, the mayor of Arlington, swore her in.
That's true.
So
I have it
we
on
can
video.
attest as
Yes.
witnesses. Yes.
Do you think you'd run for mayor when you're older?
Yes.
Definitely. We need some more smart girls in the room.
Yes.
So, Colin, both of you have such, again, just joyful personalities. And as someone who is building their personal brand on Instagram, as I do have the With Hat and Cattle page, but people actually know me more from Unicorns Eat Pancakes, and that's more endurance and finding joy in the journey. And it's, speaking to pivots, and joy is very different from happiness, where happiness is fleeting and joy is, I think you spoke to, intentionality. Joy is intentional. You
Amen.
have to find it, and even if life is throwing you all the curveballs. So, you both are known for bringing joy to communities. Colin, can you speak to how you find joy for yourself outside of that persona?
Yeah, luckily I got to bring a part of it with me today,
Mm.
right? I will say, Dani, especially for you and for all of us here, we are very open about ourselves on social media, which is refreshing. We've all had this journey, right? And it's different for each of us, but we have these similarities, right?
Right.
And so the joy for me, I used to think was my job. And I poured everything I had into it. I would go to my job and then I would be a different person away from my job. I would be in a dark room, decompressing outside of what I thought was my purpose. And now, with my current role and then just my family perspective, most of my joy comes from things like this and spending time with my daughters and my wife and going on trips and just experiencing life for them and providing for them, which in my past career and just kind of growing up within a business was not my biggest reward in life. I thought it was clocking in and making a difference, but I see now that it's more intentional about family and then secondarily about people.
When you had that realization, I'm curious, was it at the job? Were you one day just, sitting there with papers and like this is not the joy I thought it was. It was.
So it wasn't until I actually left that position
Mm.
and I was in a period of transformation, both professionally and personally, where I was actually unemployed for 8 months, which, people told me. I had mentors and people that I worked with that said, "Hey, you've reached the tip of the iceberg, right? You were CEO. There's going to be people knocking down your doors to hire you
Yeah.
should something happen." And I'm still waiting for that to come because they never came, right?
Yeah.
And so I found out really quickly that it's all about, family first, and then everything else out will figure itself out. And it was a very powerful transformation.
Mm. Eric, you are also very open, online. When it comes time for the persona to come home, are you still, at 100, or how are you finding that joy?
Man, I got to tell you,
Tell us.
when I met my wife, I wasn't a dog guy.
Uh-huh.
Okay? She's the one that has created this. So I always say, man, you're such a smart person. That's what a good husband should do. You created this.
That's the real right there.
And it's almost to the point where her friends call me Big Juicy. I never have liked my first name. I just never liked it.
Mhm.
So I really feel like with my wife, I always give her all the praise, because without her, I wouldn't have this to do.
Yeah.
Okay. She encouraged me to get this bulldog. I got him. We had the time of our lives. We were on global TV and different interviews. The Netherlands, they came over and filmed for a week. I think God gave him to me so I'd have something to do the rest of my life. It might sound crazy to somebody else, but it's really kind of given me the opportunity to kind of create a person. But I've always believed, set yourself apart from everybody else.
Mm.
And there might be someone listening to this that maybe they have, I can't do this or I can't do that. Let me tell you something. The greatest joy in life is developing into the greatest person that you're proud of.
Mm.
And you're giving homage to all the other people that kind of influenced you. You take a little bit from this person, a little bit from this person. And I look at my kids. Colin knows all my kids. I look at them and I think Big Juicy did pretty good.
Yeah.
And I have grandsons now.
Yeah.
And I look at them and I think, man, they're going to get it from their mom or their dad. And yeah.
Building legacy.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
And
you said, do I turn it off? No. My
I-
wife gets to sleep with Big Juicy.
I believe that 1,000%.
Yeah.
Kennedy, here we're talking about, sometimes doing things that scare us. And when you had to get up on stage and speak at, was it Levitt Pavilion? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. Was it scary?
I'm scared of some heights, but it wasn't scary for me.
Okay. So the actual doing the work wasn't scary. So if someone's listening and they're scared maybe to go after a dream, what would you tell them? How would you tell them it was going to be okay?
I should tell him. I'm gonna tell him, you're gonna do great.
That those positive affirmations, those words of encouragement, we can't discredit that. It means so much in life. So yeah. Oh my gosh. You are doing so great, Kennedy.
Thank you.
Eric, where everyone who has done any research on you knows you are the person who submitted the presidential pardon for Joe Exotic,
I did.
Tiger King fame.
Yep.
Yep. What motivated you to do that?
You want me to be honest?
I do.
I made a whole lot of money. Okay. I made a whole lot of money as a company sold, and I was bored, and I don't like to be bored. So I sent a letter to the Tiger King,
Uh-huh.
and I said, I will bankroll this whole thing. I need something to do. I'm a guy that has to have something to do.
Okay.
And he said, man, I desperately need your help. And that turned into, I'm all about connections.
Mhm.
That turned into texting TMZ. I'm going to need some platform and some airtime. We did tons of interviews. I set up the legal team. We are going to go troll the White House. And he said, you mean on the computer? I said, absolutely not. We've got a double-decker bus. We got jets, helicopters. I'm going to wrap it. We're going to make a production out of this. And we did. And it was so fun. It was just so fun,
Yeah.
And again, this is a person that's incarcerated. I
Mhm.
do all the work I do now, I do it for free. All the social justice work,
Mhm.
I do it for free. And I enjoy doing that, taking a skill set, because I think a skill set, a personality, and the ability to manifest a team. If I call, everybody wants to do it because they know it's going to be fun. And I think creating energy, manifesting the right people, I think that's key. I had the best time of my life doing it.
You keep saying manifest the right people.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So here's a good example.
Thank you.
I only have friends that are true friends. Now, going through life, we've had those other people,
Right.
and you see who's there. I'm a good cheerleader, and I cheer my folks on. I love them. And by design, I invited everybody from the guy that owned the sign shop, because I was going to need him to wrap buses, to the guy that owned the buses, double decker, to the guy that owned the jet, to the helicopter, to all my attorneys. Anybody want to be on Netflix? I'm doing a project. And you know what? They say, oh boy, let's go. Everybody said yes. And manifesting is being positive, being resourceful. And so a good example, I was invited to join this real elite social networking club last week. And I said, where is it? And they told me, and I said, I already know everybody. I don't need to go down there. I don't need to, I don't need to go social. I know everybody I need to know.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter if it's in Washington, D.C. or wherever. I'm fine. But I think manifesting is bringing people into your circle
Mhm.
that are like-minded people that have, if you ever go, I don't know if that person's going to fit, they're not.
Yeah.
When a person has the right moral compass. I only like right moral compass people
Mhm.
to do my inner circle stuff with.
Right.
Because you can touch anybody else, but your inner circle has to be 100% on the same page, and you attract them by not only walking, but talking.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing. So everybody has the ability to do that. Sometimes it's painful because some people are toxic.
Mhm.
Even family members can be toxic. And you have to understand how to, you can still love somebody, but you can love them 9 blocks away
Yes,
instead
you
of right
can.
here at the dinner table,
You can.
in my opinion. And that's how that.
Yeah. Colin, for someone who hasn't, they don't have that, well, I was going to say Rolodex, but the contact list of, that Eric has,
Mhm.
right? They're just building. It seems you know a bit or two about building up that Rolodex. What would be the first step that you would recommend someone do? If they're like, I don't have someone I can call that has a double-decker bus. I mean, it takes a while to get there.
Mhm.
How do we start building that?
Well, first you need to get into Eric's inner circle. So
Apparently.
yes, that's the first step, obviously. No, so for me, one of the things that you brought up earlier was my LinkedIn presence, right?
Right.
I was told by a really good friend of mine whenever I was in my position of power that I needed to build up my LinkedIn profile. Well, I didn't listen because I was working in the business, right? And so whenever I transitioned from that job, I looked at LinkedIn and I was like, this is a gold mine and I need to nurture it and kind of build on this platform. And so I got to work. Like I just went and I liked people's posts and I interacted with people, not trying to pitch them,
Yeah.
just trying to say, hey, I like what you're doing. Like, what can I do to help? I want to learn more about you, the person. And I literally built it up from the ground up without that title to kind of ride on the coattails of, right?
Mhm.
And so I think it goes to what Eric is speaking to, and it's just showing up as yourself. And it's hard for some people to let that in because a lot of people have been burned before, right?
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, you're this genuine person, but are you this genuine person?" Right? And so I've ran into that a couple times where people are like, "Hey, after our first interaction, I thought you were just, going to be here and gone." But one of the other things that I love to do is just be consistent and intentional and top of mind,
Mhm.
and not because I need something, right?
Yeah.
I'll text Eric, out of the blue and just say, "Hey, how are you doing?" I'll call him and I'll say, "Hey, you want to go to lunch?" Right? He's a proud opa now, a proud opa of two.
Mhm.
And, like you mentioned earlier, I reach out to his kids. And, before yesterday, I reached out to Gabby and Connor before they welcomed their little boy into the world. And same thing with his son, Chase. And my wife and his daughter, Allie, have a really good connection, right?
Mhm.
And my biggest thing and the biggest takeaway that I want listeners to know is that if someone crosses your mind, doesn't matter who it is,
Yeah.
for what reason, right? If you heard someone say Eric and it made you think of Eric Love, text that person. There's a reason why
That's
that
good.
person is crossing your mind,
Mhm.
and it doesn't have to be, "Hey Eric, do you want to go to lunch?" It's just, "Hey, I'm thinking of you." I don't know why.
But I
I'm
will
thinking
go
of
to
you.
lunch.
Yes, Eric will definitely take you up on lunch.
And you know what? And there's nothing worse. Me and you've talked about this.
Mhm.
There's nothing worse than you get a phone call. They always want something.
Mhm.
Somebody that doesn't maintain a relationship,
Yep.
but somebody that out there in the pond. Me and Colin have talked about that, and we watched that demonstrated right in front of us.
Yeah.
And I said, it's okay to say no. I've gotten real good at saying no. And I think that that's important. Don't just call somebody when you need them. Maintain a relationship.
Yeah.
Like he contacted my children after they had children, or when there's something, something going on in life, and that's very, very important. Don't be the person that just calls somebody when you need something
Mhm.
because you go to the X list.
Yeah, you sure
Maybe
do.
somebody needs to hear that.
You sure do. Yeah. Kennedy,
Yes.
you just got a phone, right?
Right.
Okay. So we've been talking about texting someone if they cross your mind, but you didn't have that ability to until recently. So when you were thinking about your friends, how were you maintaining that relationship?
By not calling someone too early or too late.
So
You
we have
gotta
some
be
rules.
yeah, you gotta be respectful of people's time.
No, you're doing great, Bubs.
Yeah. So you actually would call them on the phone.
Or send them voice messages, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, that again is another takeaway there. It doesn't always have to be a text message. Send
Mhm.
an audio note.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves that. She'll replay the audio notes just when,
Yeah.
sometimes life happens, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes you just want to hear someone's voice.
And think about if you have that audio or a video with someone and they unexpectedly pass,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
you got gold.
I just
I mean-
sent you a video the other day
Yeah.
of something that you sent me probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it's just him walking around a parking lot.
Well,
just
it was
being
really,
Eric.
really good walking around the parking lot. That's what it was.
Well, you sent me a video message for my birthday.
Yes.
I was blown away. I sent it to my colleagues that went to the gala that night because, we all thought you were amazing. And I was like, be jelly, look what I got. So, Kennedy, though, I cannot just stress how important the advice you gave is. So a few years ago when I was dating, I would send video messages to some of the guys that I was dating. And you know what they told me? That I was the only person, the only person that do that. That, they were getting text and messages, but I was staying to Colin's advice top of mind because I was sending these video messages. So Kennedy, that advice is so amazing, and we thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. So curious, if you needed to pump up your friends, what were some of those messages you were giving to pump them up?
Some of the messages
Yeah.
Make 'em happy.
To make them happy,
Happy.
to bring them joy.
to bring them joy, I think I should say, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's going to be okay.
It sure is. And when my child was young, I was again, and you have these core memories, right? Especially as parents, you can remember where your kid is telling you this. And I'm sitting in passenger seat in a truck and I'm just feeling overwhelmed with life and I can hear their little voice. They leaned up and I was like, pat my shoulder. It's okay, mommy. Anything's popsicles. And and oh my goodness, that's a future tattoo, I swear. Right, Kennedy? It was great.
Have you ever had?
Instead of anything is possible, it's everything is popsicles.
Exactly. You know what I should have done, and we should have gone out for popsicles. after
Yes.
that was
Yeah, that's fine.
Have you ever been down, or maybe not with anybody else, and somebody else witnesses, or they see it, and they come over and they just say, "Hey, it's gonna be okay."
Yeah.
How important that is, because I've learned in my lifetime not everybody has a support group, and I've now have even a deeper empathy on projects that I do. Watching some of these girls at the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. They don't have a support group, and I'm thinking, oh man, how tough that is. A lot to be said for just hugging somebody. It's going to be okay. It motivates them.
It sure does. Kennedy, you are leaving us with such nuggets of truth.
Aw, thanks. You're so nice.
I appreciate that. That took some work too, but a podcast for another day. So I just am loving hearing everything that you guys are speaking to, but I would love to go back to again when you need someone to tell you it's going to be okay and you don't have that. Where do you draw the strength to move through that challenge, that storm, the contract that was going to come in and was going to get you to help pay the bills at the end of the month, and then it just falls through? Where are you drawing your faith, your strength from? And that's for either one of you.
Yes.
I'll start. So it was actually during my job hunt. So this might resonate with a lot of people, right? I went through a rigorous 8 interview process with a company.
One company.
8 interviews, probably totaling about 2 months long. And it got to the point where I was getting ready for the final interview, right? And I remember this, another core memory like we've been speaking of. I was in the kitchen with my wife and I was kind of manifesting and planning how we were going to split up, some bills and some responsibilities. Like I'm like, I got this in the bag, right? And then come to find out, I didn't.
Yeah.
And so that was a big kind of reality check, where I was like, okay, don't count your chickens before they hatch. But the biggest thing for me was that support system, like Eric mentioned, right? And at the time, that was my wife and Kennedy. And so luckily for me, I got the news. It was around holiday season. And so I didn't log into LinkedIn, right? I didn't get on the computer and start making connections and firing off my resume into the abyss. It was like, okay, I'm unplugging. And what that meant was me and Kennedy going on the trampoline, or me and her mom going out for dinner, just something like that. And life is hard, but making an intentional effort to step away, even though everything in you is like, but I have to find something, right? At some point, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're behind that computer and you're not in the right mindset.
That is so important, and that's a nice reminder. I mean, you are right. Kennedy, when you hear your dad talk about how this was, a challenging time in his life, how is that making you feel? Because he said you were a strong support for him.
Oh, that made me feel really happy.
That you were able to show up for your dad?
Yes.
That's a very important role to take. Do you remember, can you share one way that you showed up for your dad or how you helped him?
How I helped him?
Yeah.
Something fun. We jumped on the trampoline and played and played some games like Who can jump the highest?
Now, who can jump the highest?
Oh, we both can.
You know, it is important to share the title. You know, thank you again for doing so.
Yo, you're welcome.
Eric, you always show up, it seems. I mean, no, and I hear my therapist in the background. We don't use always or never. 9 times out of 10, you show up, huge smile on your face. It's such a joy to be in your presence. And you know, I'll bring it back to when Big Juicy passed away. How did you sit with those feelings?
I cried a lot. But you know what?
But men can't cry, Eric.
Well, I cried I cry on the balcony.
Yeah.
And you were talking about, you know, how do you relieve something?
Right.
My wife is a wonderful German woman, professor at TWU. And she used to laugh because I would always take my dog on the balcony for about 5 minutes. And she said, "What are you talking about out there?" I said, "He can't testify against me." You know, sometimes maybe you're in it too much, you know, and I always enjoyed kind of making him human by just talking to him. But I grew up in the old days. And when I say the old days, you know, if you had a problem, you go over in that corner and figure it out. And you have to figure it out by yourself. And then add not being very, well, let's just say poor.
Yeah.
You get real resourceful if you're a poor
You sure
person.
do.
Because I lived that life. And when I became a young adult, I said, I've tried that. I don't want to do that no more. What else can I do? And, you know, so like, I'm a person, I like to look at myself in the mirror and say, you can fix this. And I think sometimes you can cheerlead other people, but you got to cheerlead. I don't need anybody to cheerlead me because I cheerlead myself. Now, my wife does a wonderful job. And, you know, last night, it was really funny because typical German person, there's no emotions. And she's holding Gabby's baby. I look over and I say, "Oh my God, I got to go write this down." And we had a good laugh about it, but she's just not an emotional person. But I like cheerleading myself. And if somebody says it can't be done, Colin will tell you I'm the one that says, "Okay, here's what we're going to do." And for me, that's what makes it fun.
Oh, yeah. There's actually a story there because I came to him with an idea, and it was this big idea that I had thought of in my head, thinking it's the best thing, right? And Kennedy was there for this. It was actually when I proposed to her mom. So I went to Eric and I was like, "Hey, do you have a big building? Just something that we could, you know, make a fictitious courtroom." My wife's an attorney. And I was like, "I want to build this fictitious courtroom and propose to her in it, like invite friends and family and stuff like that." And I went to Eric first. He's the only person that I went to because I knew he could get it done, like he said. And my idea in my head was butterflies and rainbows, right? And he immediately was like, "No, why would we do that?" Pulls out his phone, calls a judge, and says, "Hey, I need to borrow your courtroom."
Oh my God.
And we borrowed a courtroom.
We borrowed a courtroom.
And he participated. We had to make up a fake story. So I'm a very truthful person. And that can get you in trouble. Because if somebody asks you a question and you're truthful, they'll say, "Oh my God, you're the first person to ever tell the truth." Now I have to lie to his wife that I'm getting a big award from the governor, the state. And
he pulled out all the stops. I mean,
yeah,
he had her.
I'm a
tears.
stupid person, okay? And so I literally, you know, I sent it over and I said, "Here's what I'm getting." And so I'd like for you to be the one to read it because we wanted to get her in the courtroom first. And then I needed her to be a participant to this big lie. And, man, I don't like, and I've apologized to her for years now.
He made a video before we went into the courtroom, and he's like, "I'm sending this as soon as we leave.
As soon as it's over, and I'll send a video." I'm a liar. But she came in, and it was just beautiful because Colin is on the witness stand or going up there. The judge is there. Valerie comes in, and in that moment, she starts realizing, "Oh my gosh, there's a lot of people here that I know and that I love. Oh, there's my family. What is my sister doing here? What is..."
Yep.
So it was wonderful. It was a really good pull off, and that was fun to do.
So, note to self, don't ask Big Juicy if this outfit makes me look fat, because he'll be truthful. Okay. And to touch back on, calling your community when you're going through a challenging time. I had a car accident, and so I had to get a new car, and I wasn't poor, but I, was going through some changes, and so I bought a used car, and that's as is. And the tires needed to be replaced, right? And I was made aware of that when I'm driving down 75, getting all over that highway, it felt like, because, the tires were bald and it was
Mm.
raining. And so I remember calling a friend, being like, I am going to have to figure this out, but can I go and sit in a corner of your kitchen and cry before I do that? And she said, come over, right? And I did. And first, she checked on me. Do you need me to sit with you and cry? Like, no, I just don't want to be alone, but I need to cry. And she's like, you got it. I had my moment and then went and figured it out. So again, if you need that help, call. You never, and sometimes we stop ourselves because we do think no one cares or we don't want to trauma dump. But if you have that inner circle, they're gonna be there for you.
Sure.
Definitely. And Kennedy,
Yes.
it was so important for you to come on this show
Yes.
and speak to your story. So before we go, what is something from your story that you felt so that you just had to share?
I oh, for my story,
Mm-hmm.
I had to share how some something makes me feel.
Definitely. And when your dad reached out and said that you wanted to be on a podcast,
Mhm.
what made you want to be on a podcast?
PBS Kids for the Arthur podcast wanted to made me be on the podcast on a podcast.
That was her inspiration.
Definitely. I mean, we have our dreams and our goals, and it's so important because then that motivates us to work towards them.
Yes, that's exactly right.
My gosh, that I'm gonna need you to do some ads for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's exactly
Oh, yeah.
right.
it is.
Mhm.
Before we leave, what is something that you do to put some joy in your day?
Something that I do. I'd like to read to make me happy.
That is an important skill.
Yep.
A lot of CEOs, that's one of the number one things. They're reading all the time. What books are you reading?
I'm reading the Chameleon, and I'm reading the Moon book.
One thing that the audience probably doesn't know is she actually reads her books in Braille. She's visually impaired, and
Mhm.
so another thing, kind of tying in this podcast, right, is going about life and seeing life through a different lens,
Yep.
and seeing how she lives her life and the amount of joy that she's bringing just to this group here,
Yeah.
right? She has a visual impairment, but it doesn't stop her, and that's super inspiring for hopefully anybody listening.
Yes.
Yeah. When you were learning Braille, was that challenging to do?
Yes. Sometimes I mix F with D, and
Mhm.
sometimes I mix J with H.
And some of us who don't read Braille, we wouldn't know that. So when you find yourself having a little difficulty with the words, does it frustrate you sometimes?
No, some people just say no, close, and I'll just keep trying, and I'll get it.
Definitely. Yes. No. So that's it. No, close, and keep trying.
Yep.
Go get it. Good job.
Yeah, don't give up. Again, all these things that I feel we know as adults, but we forget, you're reminding us. Thank you again.
Oh, you're welcome.
If you had any advice to give to the community, Kennedy,
Yes.
what piece of advice would you give them?
A piece of advice.
And you've given us such great advice today.
I can help people because I'm there. I'm everybody's helper. I'm everybody's girl.
It is important to use your talents and your skills. And again, that word of encouragement, definitely, it's going to be okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Colin, the last piece of advice that you would give.
I think tying it all together, right? Reaching that top of the mountain from the outside. And honestly, personally, right? I thought I had reached the pinnacle of success, right? And so a lot of people ask me today, they're like, hey, you've reached that pinnacle of success. What happened, or why are you doing what you're doing now? And it was leaning on that network, right? I thought I had a big network whenever I was at the top of the mountain. And I quickly realized that I was just surrounded by people that were already there and not people that I was intentional about going and finding and helping. And once I changed that mindset, my community became bigger, my impact became bigger, and the people that I surrounded myself with were the right people, like yourself, like Eric, and of course, like Kennedy, just bringing up what I knew was inside me and just making it shine for everybody else.
Oh my goodness. Eric, I feel I want to ask what's next for you.
I'm glad you
It's a
did. Listen,
dangerous,
here's what we're gonna
dangerous
do.
Here we
question.
go.
It's funny, that question got asked last night with my second grandson in about 80 days. What are you going to do now? I'm actually working on a project called Forgiveness. We're shooting it. And this is going to be a real impactful. This is going to be the most serious project that I've done. I do death row cases. I do a lot of different stuff. This is going to be a very purposeful forgiveness. Can you forgive? The question is, can you forgive? We've interviewed some people, and, listen, I'll be the first to say, I can't forgive my own brother for not helping me with my father financially.
Yeah.
I can't forgive him. I have met a person. They came to me. I've met a person, and they said, we heard that you're shooting this project. This man is a wonderful man. And I got introduced to him, and he has forgiven someone that's done the most egregious thing your mind can think of that ended in death. And he's forgiven the perpetrator. Oh boy, God's got me on a plan right now to learn a lot. So that's what I'm doing next. But listen, every day is a good day. We're not here for long.
No, we're not.
And I say that a lot on social media. We're not here for long. Get out and do something. And do something for somebody else to make you feel better. I think that's important.
Oh my gosh, I'm tearing up hearing that. Again, you never know what someone's just going to say in the studio, and it's just going to resonate so much. Thank you, Eric. Forgiveness, is that something you're doing, that you're producing and you're going to launch yourself, maybe on YouTube? I'm
financing it, self-producing it, and we will probably market it to Netflix.
Okay.
Because it was the hottest story, literally globally, just recently, that took place in Tarrant County. And I see where, with my connections and us producing it, I think that we can really make an impact to people that maybe have a problem with forgiveness. Remember, I can't forgive my brother over a financial issue. And I think that this is going to be, I think God put this in my place because I wasn't going in that direction with this project, and then it developed. But it happens just like it's supposed to.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that have that forgiveness. Like, I mean, just hearing you speak, just like you, Dani, I mean, it's resonating with me, right? I have a few people that I can't forgive for other reasons, probably or absolutely not as bad as what you're talking about. So I'm excited to watch it so I can see if maybe I can learn some stuff from it too.
So thank you both for sharing your light with the world. It is very much needed. These messages are needed, and you never know why God has placed an opportunity, right? Like that, because again, someone needs to hear it. So, Kennedy, thank you for waking up early, for putting on your Sunday best to come into the studio.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
And again, thank all three of y'all for being here today.
Thank you, Dani.
Thank you.
Thank you.